Well, hello everybody, and my guest today is Dhyllis Victoria. Hello, Dhyllis.
Hola, how are you?
All right. Dhyllis is an oracle. She's a spiritualist and a healer. And welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Erin. I appreciate it.
Okay, so we were talking the other day, and your big thing you want to talk about is forgiveness of self.
hmm
Okay, go for it.
So, forgiveness itself is mainly, basically, importantly, having peace within oneself where you're able to just not look at the mistakes and regrets, but also look at how far you've come in your life, especially with me experiencing trauma, sex abuse when I was young as a child. I had to go through the process of healing and going through the process of like not self-sabotaging anymore. And so I had to go through the process of doing the work, the healing and forgiveness of self. And that took a lot of time. It was very, very uncomfortable because it was not the normal for me. My normal was self-sabotage. My normal was dysfunction. My normal was suicidal thoughts, just downing on myself and not, honoring my worth. So when it came to self-forgiveness, it was holding myself accountable and being responsible for all the parts that I played in my life, the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent, all that stuff, and being able to face myself and say, you know what? Yes, you messed up in life because you went through abuse. However, you're grown now and you have to take the responsibility for yourself as a human being or a spiritual being having a human experience in order for you to move forward in life, because this what you're doing right now is not working for you. And that's how I went through the process of forgiveness. So I had to write down all the things that I did to myself that I wasn't proud of. And then the other part about that is, due to the fact that I was abused as a child, I had to write a letter to the little girl inside of me to let her know that I'm here to protect you now. I'm here to love you correctly now. You don't have to be scared anymore, and allow her to be the little girl that she is in order for me to be the grown woman that I am. And so we would both be able to connect in a powerful way and no longer live in fear, guilt, and shame, but be able to just be who we are and learn how to do that. And so that's where self-forgiveness came in for me. And it was also being able to apologize to the people who I hurt when I was upset, when I was, angry, when I was going through this downward spiral, like my mom, my dad, all those people, and not allowing the ego and pride to get in the way. And I always say, we know our birth date, we don't know our death date. And I never want to be on my deathbed, the 10 minutes left that I have in my life before I take my last breath, and say I shoulda, coulda, woulda, and I didn't, for myself and also for other people that I may have wronged. And it's just being able to be in a space of not only forgiving self, but also having compassion and kindness with yourself, and compassion and kindness, because everyone goes through something in life. So it's shifting from saying, okay, well, I'm not talking to that person because he or she did what, but looking at the person and saying, okay, what's your story? What did you go through? And trying to come to them with just empathy and sympathy, as opposed to saying, okay, well, I know I'm hurt and I'm angry and I'm doing self-forgiveness and I'm doing my work. That also includes giving people the respect and having the integrity to allow them to do their work and seeing it from a different perspective. And that's what self-forgiveness is for me.
Okay. Now, a lot of people in the LGBTQ plus community,
Mm-hmm.
as they have suffered, both physical abuse, sexual abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Um, do you have any way that you communicate with them about the forgiveness of
Mm-hmm.
self?
Absolutely. I let them know that, yes, you're a human being and you've been through so much, because I've been through so much too. I know what it is because I came out at 40. I was 40 years old when I came out. And the amount of judgment and scrutiny that I went through with my family, and they felt as if though me being abused as a child caused me to be gay, or me going through these tumultuous relationships that I had with men caused me to be gay, or and it was you're burning in hell, that kind of stuff. So for me, I always say, for someone who is living her second chance at life because I had a near death experience, don't make something, don't allow something drastic to happen to you in order for you to decide to make a choice to live your life regardless of who feels what about you. It's about self-validation and giving yourself permission, and also knowing that you're beautiful, knowing that you're powerful, knowing that you were created for greatness. You were created with beauty within. You were created to just be the best that you can be. And look at how far you've come and how far you're going. And you made a choice to continue to live life your way. And that's the only way at the end of the day, because we have the power within ourselves to go right or go left. And you're still here, you're breathing, you're waking up every morning. When I wake up in the morning, it's thank you, God of my own understanding and universe, for helping me open up my eyes and take my next breath, because someone's taking their last breath. And breathing isn't a gift in itself. So take time to just breathe, feel your heartbeat, hear it for what it is, and know that every single breath you take is a blessing. And even though we complain about these things and being judged and hurt and so on and so forth, the best thing we can do, the best revenge we can have, the best success we can have is definitely making sure that we take our power back and we own our vulnerability, we own our validation, we own our permission, and we own our perception, what that looks like to us. And to define life by our means, by our own way. And just be happy with self, be happy with who you are, accept everything about you, your imperfections, your flaws, your stretch marks, your fat rolls, your blackheads, your whiteheads, whatever the case may be. Accept all of that within you, because you have to live with you. And every day when you look in the mirror, I want you to say, I'm beautiful, I'm amazing, I'm a powerful human being, and I'm here for a reason. And dig deep within, go through introspection and do the inner healing work. And ask yourself, why am I here? Who am I? And what do I really want? Those three things you ask yourself, and go deep into your heart space and be brutally honest with yourself about what that is. And then go out and create it and make it happen. Make it happen for yourself. Because like I said, when you're on your deathbed, we don't know when that is. The last 10 minutes, either there's two things: shoulda, coulda, woulda, and I didn't, or I lived an amazing life. I did everything that made my heart smile and that made my spirit spark. So before you take that last breath, you want to make sure that when you're going through that process of looking over at your life, you want to know that you've made the best decisions. You had the best life you possibly could, regardless of who said what to you, who did what to you. Because hurt is temporary. It is temporary. Strength is permanent.
I totally agree. So in the forgiveness of self, a lot of people need to change their mindsets, correct? And, we get into this mindset that I'm not worthy, and, that I'm no good and all that. We need to change that. And
Absolutely.
How do you think we should change it for the better?
For the better, I feel like I was saying before, it starts with accepting oneself. Everything that someone has told you about you is not the truth. What you feel about you is the truth. And the things that you may have gone through in your life, however you went through it, you still overcame it. So where worth is concerned is pretty much, for me, I had to take a good look at myself in the mirror and just look in my eyes and say, I love you. You are worthy, you're valuable, you're beautiful. Not only saying it, but actually declaring it, owning it, and believing it wholeheartedly, going into my heart space and believing it. So it's believing it and going into your heart space and knowing that you're worthy. And also defining what that word worth means to you, because all of us have a different definition of love, peace, happiness, worth, success. Define what worth means to you and stay consistent in it, the way that you take action in creating the worth, and how you're training people to treat you within your worth.
Okay. So Now we're going to get into the stuff that, as what do you specifically do as an oracle?
Well, I am pretty much a portal between physical world and spiritual world. So I'm able to receive messages from spirit, from angels, ancestors. If anyone has passed away, loved ones have passed away, I'm able to see them, hear them, feel them, and give messages to the loved ones that are still here physically, and let them know that they are loved and they're appreciated and they're cared about. Because oftentimes when a person passes away, a family member, it depends on the kind of relationship you've had with your loved one. Sometimes there's words left unsaid. Sometimes there was something that was said that caused you to not communicate. So for me, when I am hearing from spirit, I'm able to let the person that's still physically here know that they are loved by this person, that this person is proud of them, there's no love lost, that everything is what it's supposed to be. And the other part about that is helping them guide themselves the direction which they need to go down to, because sometimes we go through so many things in life and sometimes we get confused and conflicted, especially spirituality, or growing up you're conditioned to be a certain way, to practice religion or culture a certain way, and as you grow older you start getting awakened and aware, and so it shifts something in you, but you're so caught up with what people are going to think and the guilt and the shame of whatever you were taught that you don't want to step outside of yourself because of fear. So what I do is I teach my clients, which I call spiritual seekers, to go within themselves and to give themselves permission to choose to awaken their spirit, and however they choose, be it speaking to God or universe, or with me, like I have my angels and my ancestors and my guides. I have goddess Isis, she's a spiritual being who's my spiritual mother, and things like that. And to be open to what that feels like and what that means to them, because all of us have different things. I always tell people, in this life, there's so many different practices and cultures and religions. There's just not one. There are plenty. So you can go and research them, and whatever resonates with you, you can apply it to your life. You don't have to stick to one said thing. And when I say that, it kind of like opens up them to a different type of the way that they want to create their spirituality, defining what that means to them. And so I steer them in that direction. And I also help them as an oracle, because I tap into the energy and the spirit to feel what they're feeling. Plus I share my story of abuse and the things that I've been through, and I help them release the guilt and release the shame, and also go through the process of forgiveness of self, but also helping them identify what their spiritual gifts are so they can help themselves, but also help humanity in the process.
Okay. So dig deeper, and as a healer, what specifically do you do with your clients?
Specifically, what I do with my clients is I help them finally feel complete and at peace within themselves, where they're given spiritual techniques and tools like daily mantras, guided affirmations. I do actually role playing with them, where I would actually act as I was them, and they would look at themselves and tell themselves what it is that they want to express to themselves. Or even if they went through a process of abuse and they were not able to confront the abuser, I act as if though I was the abuser, so they can express everything that they want to say to them, no holds bar, because I need them to release it and get it out, because they've been suffering and holding on to that for a very long time. So once they're able to express how they feel and hear it and speak it out loud, then they're able to release it. And the other thing I do with them is something called a burn and release ritual, where you write down everything that has hurt you, pain, suffering, whatever you've been through in your life, and you burn it. And when you're burning it, you are saying, I'm releasing what no longer serves me, and I'm replacing it with confidence, with love, with success, with whatever it is that you want to replace it with. And you send it out into the universe, and you let the universe, or God, of your own understanding, know this is what I want to do moving forward in my life. This is the commitment I'm making to myself from here on out. These things no longer serve me, and I'm giving myself permission to release them in order to make space for all the amazing blessings and opportunities and wonderful possibilities that I can create for myself.
Okay. So outside of your clientele, what has your personal spiritual journey been like?
Oh, wow. It's been a whirlwind of highs and lows, ups and downs. My family, well, my mom is from Belize and my father's from Haiti. So I'm actually learning about my Haitian side of my family, not so much the voodoo practice, but the hoodoo, which is herbs and stuff like that. So for me, I'm always getting spiritual downloads, as I call them. And with the spiritual downloads, it gives me the opportunity to create powerful herbs and spices to help people with the healing process, but also helps me in the long run, because when I feel spirit around me, I feel them wrapping their arms around me. I feel the spiritual love. I feel my spiritual family around me. And it helps me to remain calm. It helps me to remain at balance, at peace, where I no longer have anxiety. I no longer have depression. Suicidal thoughts have faded away. Any type of ruminating negative thoughts that I've had in my life or self-sabotaging behaviors or patterns has been released and has turned into self-love. I've been able to forgive myself on so many levels, and I can actually be present in the moment and see life for what it is and not worry about the future nor the past, because all we have is now. We can only feel and exist and live in the now. And that's what my spirituality and my spiritual walk has done for me. And before I started doing this, I was actually in public relations. And I walked away from public relations. I had 13 clients, and I just told them, you know what? I'm not happy doing this work. I know that my work is impacting lives and helping people heal on a mental level, emotional level, and spiritual level. So I had to release that in order to make space for me to step into my spiritual birthright and not be afraid of it, and not allow the conditioning from family or, religion. Like, oh no, you don't want to deal with oracle cards. You don't want to deal with tarot cards. You don't want to be working with candles, and actually get deep into it and do the research and see what it is for myself. And it's the most happiest I've ever been in my life and the most calmest I've ever been in my life.
Okay. I have talked to, person to person with other spiritual type people, and they use a lot of like scented candles, oils, and even going back with like the indigenous people of North America, smudging and stuff like that.
Yep.
So how does that take a big part in your life?
Yes, I am an avid person who sages. Like, I'll sage my home, and I also have a home saging service where I'll go to other people's home and I'll sage on their behalf. So I use two different sages. The white sage, which is replacing negative energy with positive energy, but there's also dragon's blood sage and dragon's blood oil, which is for protection, banishing, and cleansing. So it's like a double fold where I'm protecting your energy and your space in your home, and I'm banishing and removing what doesn't belong there anymore. And I'm also cleansing the area for you. So you have balance and you have peace in your home. It alleviates stress. It alleviates worry. It allows you to sleep sound at night, where you're not just in the bed thinking, ruminating thoughts. And it's allowing all of your guides and your ancestors and angels to come in at that time and surround you, so you can feel it and know that they're there. So smudging and saging, yes. Incenses as well. I love incense. So I use a lot of incense. And I have an altar set up in my home. So I have offerings on my altar for my ancestors and Goddess Isis, of course. So all of those little elements, crystals, I use amethyst, black obsidian, clear quartz, carnelian, all of those things I work with my clients, and I use it in my home as well. And I use Florida water to clean my house to make sure that it's highly protected. So I'm always vibrating on high frequency, but also keeping my space calm and clean, because we are connected to people all day long, and some people have negative energy, some people have lower energy, some people have positive energies, and you bring that stuff home with you in your clothing. And so you're bringing that back into your house. So for me, I don't sage every day, but I tend to sage every other day to release whatever does not belong in my home. And I do that for my clients as well.
Okay. So what's your opinion on spiritual animals?
Oh, I love spiritual animals. I mean, one of my animal totems is a ladybug. And the other day, last week, I was out and about doing a video shoot for a friend of mine, and I saw a yellow ladybug with black dots, black spots. And I was like, oh my God, hi, ladybug. And then, like 2 hours later, me and my wife went to have lunch in the park. Another ladybug flew on top of the cardboard carton where we were eating our lunch, and it was a red ladybug with black spots on it. So I'm a huge fan of animal spirits, and when they come around, I'm just like, oh my God, it's an animal spirit, and I get all excited because that's God of my own understanding or universe letting me know, okay, we have you, we hear you. This is another angel in a form of an animal to let you know that you don't need to worry. All your prayers are being answered. You know, you can just be who you are, and you can just alleviate your stress because we hear you. So that's what spirit.
Well, for me, I have a cousin who calls me Miss Doolittle, because all animals come up to me. You know, they're like, you know, dogs, cats. There's skunks come up to me.
Oh wow.
Raccoons, rabbits. You know, they just come up to me, and you know, and it's like, okay, I love you too, but it might be time to go. Yeah. And you know, I get honeybees. They'll come up and land on my hand and like walk around, and
Yes.
I have a nickname that was given to me as Dragonfly because I attract dragonflies, and you know, they'll like land on me and just sit there, you know, and then you know, when they feel like moving on, they just move on, and it's like, okay.
That's because you have a gentle soul and you have a pure heart. And when you have a gentle soul and a pure heart, animals sense it, they know it, they feel it, and they're like, okay, well, I'm going to gravitate to this person because this person is pure of heart. This person is not one to harm. This person has the greatest of intentions for humanity. And so that's why they're so attracted to you, because you have such a pure heart and you have the greatest intentions, and it's genuine. So if an animal can sense it, they're going to go around you. If you didn't have it, they're going to be like, peace out, we're going to go that direction.
Yeah, I actually had one person. They had a pit bull, and they were like, he's vicious, and I'm like, yeah, okay. and the pit bull's just licking on me. It's like, okay, see, yeah, it's very vicious.
Right, yeah.
It'll lick me to death. Okay. And he actually accused me of ruining his dog.
Wow. What? So that's how powerful you are, that you were going to ruin his dog. See that?
Yeah. Okay. So we have about 6.5 minutes left. So do you want to give shout outs or whatever you want to tell the listening audience?
Sure. You can connect with me definitely on Facebook. My name is Dhyllis, Dhylles. Also, my website is getspirituallyactivated.com. I do spiritual strengthening sessions as well as spiritual strengthening 6-week programs and group programs as well. And it's all about helping you release what no longer serves you, allowing you to step into your greatness and your power, as well as helping you identify what your spiritual gifts are and how you can help yourself as well as help humanity, so that you can feel complete and confident and courageous and walking in who you are as a person, as a human being, having a spiritual experience on this earth. So like I said before, we know our birth date and we don't know our death date. And until that time. You want to make sure you have the best of life ever by taking risks, stepping out of your comfort zone, breaking the box down, making the box a circle, painting it purple, or whatever it is that you want to do in your life. So if this resonates with you and is speaking to your heart space, connect with me.
Well, my two favorite colors is pink and purple, and it seems that no matter where I go, pink and purple gravitates to me, whether it's in nature or whatever. And so I am going to be putting Dhyllis's contact information in the description of the video, and it will be in the audio portion as well. Okay. And Dhyllis, I really thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, Erin. I appreciate it. I'll definitely, when the ears are blasted off to everybody that I know.
And as soon as I finish editing, I'll get you the links. And everybody that's watching, as you see at the bottom of the screen, I thank you for watching. And if you wish to see exclusive content, become a Patreon at patreon.com/ErinTGActivist. And thank you for joining.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and thank you for everything that you do and how you're helping humanity.
All right.
Talk soon.